Hey, welcome back to YouTube for another episode of New Rock City. I'm your host, Stephen Moss, and here we bring you a weekly band, share their music, interview them, and try to share the local scene a little more since COVID's got everything shut down. The band is called Mediaslaves, so thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Ain't no problem.
First thing I just wanted to do was have you guys introduce yourself and say what you do in the band.
I'm Johnny. I play guitar and do vocals.
I'm Jono. I play drums. Oh, sorry, Sean, I cut you off.
Okay.
Classic.
I'm Sean. I play bass.
Very nice. Thank you, guys. 2 episodes ago, we had Josh and Jason on the show, and they are owners of the Canadian punk rock label High End Denim Records. They gave us their perspective about the punk rock scene in Alberta, where they're from. You guys are more out west in the Vancouver area. What's it like for you guys?
Wow, great question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the scene's in a pretty good place right now. People are really positive and supportive of one another, and generally just want to help grow the scene. There's not a lot of, not a lot of salty gatekeepers trying to dictate who is and isn't worthy of being a part. So that's really nice. So yeah, I think it's in a good place right now.
Yeah, that's true. There are definitely a lot of go-getters in the scene. A lot of people, starting labels, and when there were shows, a lot of people throwing shows and, podcasts and magazines and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's definitely a tuned-in network where we all support each other and glow each other up. Is that what people say now? Glow up? Here's my glow up. Big song, bros. Thanks, bro. Yeah, that whole kind of thing.
I think most of the, and like, I mean, obviously in every scene you kind of get those gatekeepers, but I think most of the people, at least in the circle we kind of play in, are aware of those people and kind of stay clear of them. So I think, yeah, I think what Sean said pretty much, like, it's in a good place and it's going to even better place in my opinion.
So coming from like the Vancouver to Calgary or whatnot, is it still pretty similar? Because Canada is such a big country. Like, do you have like a unique sound that's that someone would say, oh, you guys sound like you're from Vancouver?
I don't know anything about the Calgary scene really. I don't know if, I mean, I feel like I could get skewered by some Calgary people through this, but I don't know if there's a Calgary scene. I don't know what's going on there. So I apologize to Calgary punk bands. I'm sure there's lots of you and you're great. I just don't know about you.
I think the only like hardcore band that I know of from Calgary is Mortality Rate, and they're pretty cool, but I wouldn't like, I can't say there's anybody that's really said, oh, you sound like you're from the Vancouver scene, or you sound like you're from Toronto or Calgary. I can't, yeah, I don't really think there's like a distinct difference in sound.
I feel
think,
like, I mean,
yeah.
I feel like there's a scene over in like Toronto and shit. Like there's a Toronto area scene, there's a Vancouver area scene. I just don't know anything about like the Alberta. Well, I mean, like you got like SNFU and bands from like back in the day, but like the current scene, I just don't know a lot about. So,
and I wouldn't necessarily say there's like a specific sound. I mean, I feel like at least in the Vancouver scene, a lot of bands sound like super drastically different.
Gotcha.
But we still play shows together, or played shows together when that was a thing for a bit there. And there's definitely lots of cross-pollination, and there's lots of like fusion kind of bands. Like if you look at a band like Ninja Spy, they're like reggae metal kind of vibe. Although they're just getting back together now. Who else are some fusion-y style bands from the Vancouver scene we could shout out?
Sean, you go first. I'm blanking.
Oh, no, I feel like I've been to some basement shows where like bands have come from like, like Edmonton and whatnot to headline those shows. But like honestly, I can't remember. I think No Class is from like Edmonton or something, but I could be wrong.
Or
yeah.
Ghetto Vaders. Ghetto Vaders, like, I don't even know how to explain what Ghetto Vaders sound like.
Well, Ghetto Vaders are Vancouver, right? So
yeah. Are we talking about not Vancouver bands right now?
Well,
I was just curious. I was mostly just curious about like here in the U.S. You can say like Southern California has their own sound. Here in Jersey was like the epicenter of emo with bands like Senses Fail, My Chemical Romance, Thursday. So I was curious if different parts of Canada had a distinct sound, sound as well.
I think we used to. I think it's less of a thing now. Like I said before, back in the day, you had like SNFU out of, I believe, Edmonton, and DOA out of Vancouver. Like Vancouver used to have like a very distinct like punk scene and whatnot. Even just in like the, like, I think it was like early or mid 2000s, like the Black Halos were like a like landmark Vancouver punk band, and it was very distinct. But I think now it's kind of, because the scene's just kind of regaining its footing. I think the scenes are less distinct than they used to be.
You guys are a relatively new band. You formed in around December of 2019. But in that short time, you've had some pretty cool milestones. You guys have had international radio play, news publications. But there was one thing that stood out to me that I thought was super cool. Can you tell us about how your single Fleeks and Geeks was officially playlisted by Fat Mike's record label for his AIDS bike charity event? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was really fun, and we have the most hilarious video on Instagram of Fat Mike like eating nachos like while his song's playing in the background. It's so hilarious to watch. But basically, they were throwing this kind of like, they're throwing the charity event. And basically, bands that donated to the charity got the opportunity to be like playlisted on the actual bike ride thing that they did, and it was like the bike ride, and they would be like playing the music during the bike ride. So that's kind of how it all came to be. We donated, it went towards a good cause. We had our opportunity to be played out there. So yeah, that's kind of how it all came to be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, Johnny, speaking of Fleeks and Geeks, I wanted to talk about the video because I read where you said 3 of your 4 music videos were made without spending a dime.
Mm-hmm.
And that the effects that we see in that video were actually Instagram filters, which is pretty ingenious. Can you tell us about how you came up with the idea for the video and for the song?
Yeah, so just before COVID hit, we were planning to shoot a music video with like an actual cinematographer. I was talking to somebody I'd met on Facebook about getting together to shoot the video. And then obviously COVID hit. And then we were kind of like, well, what are we going to do? But we still wanted to get our music out. We had just recorded these 2 singles. We were super stoked about them. And I was just like on Instagram, just kind of screwing around with the filters just because I was bored. And I was like, well, what if we like made a music video out of this? Like, these are pretty trippy filters, and, psychedelics and like LSD kind of visuals and stuff kind of play into like our whole vibe as well. So it kind of worked perfectly. So, we just like took some Instagram videos and mixed them all together and then put them through a couple like iPhone apps. And that's pretty much how Fleeks and Geeks was made. Then we kind of, from there just thought, how far could we take these videos without, putting in too much money? Because obviously that is a thing too.
So here's the video for Fleeks and Geeks.
Just make me numb. You're lost in my escapes.
and welcome back, guys. COVID has affected literally the entire world, yet bands have reacted differently to it. And it's commendable for you guys because you seem to have really taken advantage of it and made the most of a bad situation. Johnny, you had said that this pandemic has forced you to get out of your comfort zone and really get creative online. And I think younger bands can learn from what you have done. What are some of the things that your band has done to reach people since live shows are shut down right now?
It's been a couple things. A lot of it's on Instagram. Like basically this whole band was kind of like built on Instagram. I reached out to Sean via Instagram when we like barely knew each other. Sean kind of brought Jono into the fold. Actually, the first show we all played together in different bands was also put together through Instagram because that's where I messaged our good friend Bree when she was looking for bands to play that show. I've done a couple things. One of them was, if you make a post and put a bunch of hashtags on the post and people who aren't following the page like that post, I reach out to them, hey, thank you for liking our post. We're a punk band from Vancouver. Here's some music if you want to check it out. And it's all about interacting with people. I've noticed just the fact that we as a band are very active in like messaging people and getting to know them, and they kind of become like our friends online. They're showing us a lot of support just in like stuff we post. They're excited about the fact that, we just did a teaser merch drop post a couple days ago, and people are super excited about that. Another thing that I've done in the past was going to bands who sound similar to us and just kind of like almost poaching their friends, be like, hey, I saw you're a fan of Cancer Bass, like check us out. And we do a little bit of like Facebook advertising and stuff as well, which kind of helps with those with the reach out process. But it's
I'm wearing a Cancer Bass hoodie.
Oh, snap. Did you get that at the show?
Not the last one. This is from like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, anyways, Cancer Bass, shout out.
Woo. And another thing, and the guys could tap in on this too, is we have a very, I guess, tongue-in-cheek vibe, which helps us out. Like, we're not very serious, which I think people like. Like, Sean, maybe you should talk about your beautiful Fear and Loathing promo that you did.
The EP promo, yeah, where I was just shoveling chips into my mouth. Like,
hey, that was so good.
Like, yeah, I don't know, like, I tried to do some more like cool, like serious ones, and then I realized I'm not cool. I can't make a cool promo, so I just acted like an asshole and basically promoted the EP while shoveling chips into my mouth and telling people to go check it out. And yeah, I don't know, it turned out okay, I guess. That's what we're like. We're not serious people. We're stupid people, basically.
Yeah,
I am, at least. I don't want to speak for everybody else, but.
It's rubbing off on us. It's rubbing off on the rest of us.
It keeps it fun.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the memes definitely help a lot. We post a lot of like self-deprecating memes, just Mediaslaves sucks, says this random meme person, and people vibe with it. It's pretty hilarious.
Well, your newest one was hilarious about chasing away the two fighting bands of Metallica and Megadeth. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. I didn't know that you posted that, Johnny. I was like, oh damn, sick.
Well, yeah, stuff like that. I just literally like share from I follow like so many meme posts, like band meme pages, and a lot of inspiration come from those. So shout out to all of those meme pages.
Ooh, that's awesome. No, that stuff is really working for you guys. And you guys have a very solid work ethic. One thing I thought was amazing is, so your band has only played 2 shows together live, but yet your music last year reached over 43 different countries. That's incredible, man. Congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, this lineup has only played 2 shows together. Johnny's played, I don't know how many shows as a member of Mediaslaves, but yeah.
Okay, I missed that point.
4, I guess, total.
Slightly more.
Slightly more.
There is
Not many.
Hey man, we would have hit 4 shows in April 2020. Yeah. Our mini tour, our mini Vancouver tour that we were on. The memes I had mentally prepared for that were gonna be so hilarious. I'm so sad.
Tour of Vancouver venues, essentially.
Now this is my personal favorite. Manipulate Me. I wanted to share that video. Can you tell us a little bit about the song and the video for that?
Yeah, the song is just kind of like an angry, relationship song, more or less. Not really too much to it. The video, however, was a nice collaborative effort between all of us. Sean was the one who brought all the hilarious costumes. Maybe Sean, you could tell us.
Where did you
about
get those costumes, man?
I just like I've never thrown away any of my Halloween costumes, so I just had a bunch like sitting around. And Johnny wasn't really sure what he wanted to do. He just wanted me to show up with my camcorder that I had lying around, like basically unused. And yeah, I brought my camcorder and my tripod and like a garbage bag full of like old Halloween costumes and stuff. And we just collaborated on this video, and it turned out pretty well. So.
It was super fun, like cutting that thing together. Like it was just such a good memory of just like the day and like us kind of dicking around, and we had like no plan. It was just like bring costumes, let's see what we do, and like we all like just kind of haphazardly use the camera and whatever. Jono, you did a kind of like professional video before shooting this one. What was it like, to kind of join us on like this weird one that we all made?
Jono.
Oh, you're asking me that question?
You're the only person here named Jono.
I didn't hear you say Jono. So sorry, what was the question again, Jono?
Well, you did that stutter video with like the ice cream.
Oh, you're talking about the stutter music video. Okay, so I play in another band called Stutter, and we do kind of like noise punk stuff. I actually really liked it because the Stutter one, it was very professional, and I was really happy with the outcome. But I liked how it was just like we just kind of got to chill and do our thing, and it was just like you said, Johnny. It was just a fun day. It was a fun day and a good memory, especially at like kind of a tough time in the world with like COVID happening. It was just yeah. I got nothing but great things to say about that day.
Yeah, we actually hadn't seen each other for like a while. We maybe jammed like 1 or 2 times before, because remember we had that big period where lockdowns were super crazy.
Yeah,
we didn't do like anything, and then restrictions were kind of lining up. We were in each other's like safe 6 bubble thing that was going on at the time, and then so we had that little moment to have some fun.
Look back on and reflect on. Yeah, no, I wouldn't change it. Wouldn't change a thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's cool, man. So let's share that for everybody. This is Manipulate Me by Mediaslaves. welcome back. You had kind of touched on this before the video. Last year you had a plan to play 12 shows or one a month, and you had 4 booked, and then COVID hit, so that kind of messed everything up. Do you have any future information or know a better idea of when you can start playing shows again in Canada?
Yeah, we have
No?
no idea.
Yo.
I know when we had Josh on from Alberta, he was saying there was a period of time, where you guys were able to do like social distancing shows, which is something that has not happened in the United States.
Yeah.
I didn't know if maybe they were talking about doing that again, or is just everything is in the air.
Yeah, we did one of those. We did a social distancing show during the summer, but it was like the precautions weren't enforced particularly well, and it seemed kind of sketchy. And we were like, maybe we should like wait before doing another one of these. So there've actually been a few more since then, but we haven't taken part. And now like there's nothing going on. So yeah,
we've been talking about the possibility of doing live streams for the past little bit here, and so that might be something. But we miss not needing to worry about the spit and sweat being splattered on our face like before. Now,
one of the things that you guys were hoping to do was get in the studio this spring. Now, what about that? Is that still on hold, or are you guys on track for that, or what's that like?
Yeah, we talk about it fairly often. I think right now it's still kind of on hold. We're still kind of deciding what songs we want to do as well. Yeah, we just we haven't been able to practice in the past little while, so it's kind of hard to want to book the time and get that in. But I don't know. What are you guys thinking?
I mean, it depends a lot on what we do for the live streams too, because it's like some of them you have to spend money to take part, and some of them you don't. So there's also like financial considerations you have to take into account, because I mean, we don't make any money, so we have to just go with what we feel like we can get away with, because we gotta like pay our rent and shit. So Yeah,
I would say I mean, there's nothing too much more to add to that, I guess. I mean, because like we're doing like I think a couple of them. How many of the live streams are like pay to play, Johnny?
Potentially, there's one we for sure don't, because that already has funding and everything, and we're going to be talking with the guy running that on Saturday. One I'm not sure, because it's like part of the festival thing, but maybe like the team, because a lot of these live streams I'm seeing anyway, like they film you for a part of some bigger event, either like a show or like a live stream festival type thing. But then they give you the assets after to use on your own. So in a way, like you're paying the crew and they do it very professionally. They edit it for you and they do all of that. And you're kind of paying for the time of the people that people are putting into that, which makes sense. But there's still, one of them we got invited to play. I think they might have everything kind of set up already. So there could be 2 that's no. One for sure is paid, but that's like a super high quality, like big venue type dealio, big fancy production. And then one I don't know. I still need to email them and kind of figure that out.
Yeah, so I guess we're just trying to decide like what kind of content I guess we want to put out there, because we did have a session that actually our first session in the studio was at the beginning of COVID. And then we did another session in the studio like midway through COVID. So I guess we're trying to figure out whether or not it would be better to just kind of like bang out some more songs and do the live streams, or save some money and maybe do the live streams and then maybe worry about the songs after. Or I don't know. We're still kind of discussing that right now.
And maybe you two could actually give us your opinion on that. Because we also, right now we're sitting with potentially 4 live streams we can do. Some paid, some not, some, we're taking revenue from whatever ticket sales thing, whatever they're planning. But we only have so many songs. And how do let's say hypothetically we want to do all 4, because, every year we don't do a show. It's like, we got to hit 24 this year. If we know we got to hit 36 next year, we got to even out our show amount.
You can't interview the interviewers. You're breaking the rules. Right?
I'm asking for opinions. I know, right? I can't help it. I even have to ask you guys what it's just. I'm a naturally curious question asking person.
Well,
You-
my opinion would be to do a live stream or something on my show.
Ah,
there you go.
If we have only so many songs, and for like, how do we differentiate them? If hypothetically we did all 4, or should we even do all 4?
I think the 4 are awesome, and it's your EP, so it would be kind of like like an album show. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, all 4 definitely.
Album shows are cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's true. That is
Oh, I
true.
like your Misfits shirt. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, I'm like just seeing that because you like just popped up on my screen. Oh, hey, that's
I love
awesome.
Misfits.
I got a thing right there.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and it was from when I went to see them in Seattle, although it wasn't really in
Oh,
Seattle. I don't know Seattle very well, but it was more in the boonies, and I ripped that off a wall in downtown Seattle. It was very
you're-
difficult to
I
get
did
it
not
off.
know that.
Distillers, it says they played with the Distillers. That's the show flyer.
Yes, they
Oh,
played with Distillers, and it was amazing. And I had just seen the Distillers 2 nights previous in
Ah.
Vancouver, and then my buddy and I drove down to see them open for the Misfits in Seattle. So that was amazing.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
I got this shirt from a concert they did here in New Jersey, and I think 2019.
Oh, nice. I miss that stuff.
Yeah. We all miss live music.
At least we got to see our last show before COVID together, boys.
Oh my God. That was
Yeah.
amazing. We got to see Refused with Mets, and what was the other band? I think we missed the first opening band.
I don't remember.
Whatever.
remember.
Refused
I think
with
we went
Mets
for
was
dinner
the
and we
first
missed
one.
them.
Was there even a third band? I don't even know if there was.
Oh, maybe there wasn't. I don't know.
I can't remember. But
I
Maybe.
just remember I think we came in just in time for Mets, and it was, I mean, I couldn't ask for a better, I guess, last show to see.
yeah. I still love that picture we have. That one fucking like. That's supposed to- Do you see me put it on our Valentine post?
Oh,
The
yeah,
John
no,
picking his nose
yeah.
with a drumstick.
Great.
Oh my god.
Johnny, I wanted to ask you. I was reading something, and I wanted to make sure I understood it correctly. I was reading a UK interview, and you were asked about your guitars, and you said you do most of your writing on a cheap Yamaha acoustic guitar. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool, because your songs are so heavy.
Got it.
Do you really write all of your songs first on an acoustic guitar?
Mostly, yeah. Usually my guitar sits up here in my line of vision. And if I'm working or just chilling, I'll just kind of pick it up and doodle a little bit. Yeah, I don't really know how it works out like that. Somebody else was telling me, the guy from Hunting Giants, I remember, was telling me that he has the same process. He writes most of this stuff on acoustic first.
I know Brand New does that. They were the only band that I was aware of that did that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's it's weird. It's a weird connection I have with this acoustic guitar.
Do you plan on doing an acoustic album at all?
Acoustic album. I mean, maybe we should write a ballad, boys. I could at least write a ballad. I mean, that'd be kind of cool though, like an unplugged.
Yeah, like an
album
unplugged.
down
Yeah.
the road.
That would be
Unplugged Mediaslaves. Yeah, that'd be cool, actually.
Mediaslaves unplugged in 3.
Oh, great. That'd be us playing on the corner of King George and 102 or whatever,
That
or,
actually might be a hilarious video idea.
playing in the torn down ruins of the Bird and the Flamingo.
Oh, R.I.P.
Randos congregating around us. That would be pretty cool, though. Actually,
Acoustic albums are on the rise now that everyone's stuck in lockdown. You had Justin Sane from Anti-Flag put out an acoustic album. Can't Swim put out an acoustic album because bands can't get together. So when I heard that you write on an acoustic guitar, I just thought, oh, it'd be kind of cool if you just put your songs on an acoustic album.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great idea and definitely something that could be considered for sure. Yeah, I like that, actually.
See something stirring up in Johnny's mind now.
Yeah, right? You can see my gears turning now.
That look.
Oh, we can't release new music? Well, maybe we'll release an acoustic album. This one only has 5. My high E is gone.
Also, when I was reading that article, Johnny, you had mentioned that you had the opportunity to interview CJ Ramone. How did that come about?
This was through the magazine I used to write for called Beetroot. I was an editor there for a couple of years, and CJ Ramon was playing a show in Vancouver at the Rickshaw Theater. So that was actually my first interview I did as an editor, because I was just like a freelance writer for them for maybe a couple months. Yeah, that was an amazing interview. Honestly, that kind of like put a lot of that conversation kind of transpired in what this band is, I feel, and how we go about things, because one of the big questions I asked them, and it'll stay in my mind for the rest of my life probably, was I said something along the lines of like, you know, CJ, you were in one of the biggest punk bands in the world, like most influential punk bands in the world. You got to learn so much from them. What would you say is the definition of punk rock? And he said something along the lines of, you know, punk rock isn't like a style of dress or, you know, like the way you do your hair. It has nothing to do with like your visual appearance or anything. Punk rock is all about, you know, doing what you do and sticking to your guns and believing in, you know, doing what you think is right and sticking to that no matter what people say. And if you like
That's awesome.
look at like me, Jono, and Sean, like we aren't like visually like people wouldn't look at us and be like, that's a punk right there. But you know, it's yeah, that was like, and so a lot of the stuff that brings to the whole like DIY vibe, you know, that if he hadn't said that, maybe we wouldn't have made Manipulate Me video the way we did it, you know? Who knows?
Gotcha. No, that's super, super cool, man.
I was gonna ask you guys about the DIY punk. Can you tell us what exactly DIY punk is?
When you guys want to take that one?
I mean, it's when you rely more on just what you have at your disposal instead of like just, you know, hiring people to like figure shit out for you. Like, you know, if you don't have like a cinematographer and a crew to shoot a video, you just grab a bunch of like Halloween costumes and shoot a video, and your vocalist / frontman edits it himself, and that's the basic idea. I mean, I feel like it's evolved. Back in the day, it used to mean something else, like, you know, it might just mean like going and getting all your like show posters like printed at like Kinko's and then like slapping them up all over town. But now you have social media, so things are a bit different. And yeah, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like making the most of what you already have to do something, and not saying, oh, if only I had this thing, I could make a music video, or I could make a band. It's just kind of using what you have. Like Johnny, I think how long have you used that Line 6 amp for?
Yeah, my lines. I've had this thing for like since I was like 15, so almost 15 years, getting close to.
So it's like, yeah, just like I know so many like in the past I've known musicians who would be like, what, Line 6? But it's like, you know, you use what you have. It's like it's the content that matters. It's not how you
yeah
that's really cool.
Content that matters.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I was just speaking with a guitarist on Facebook this morning, and talking about the similar thing, and he's like, you know, I forgot how many years he said before he played in front of people, because he's like, I felt like I didn't have a good enough guitar or a good enough amp, and I needed, you know, the top of the line mic, and he, you know, he's like, it finally he just got to a point where he's like, I'm just gonna play, and now he's having a blast and he's playing for people. Well, not now with COVID, but you know what I mean. You know, he just said, screw it, I'm just gonna do it, and so yeah, that's a great point.
Do it yourself.
Now, speaking of albums, you guys just dropped your EP on January 29th called Fear and Loathing in Outer Space. I wanted to play the title track from that. Can you tell us about that song and that video?
We're not going to be very children, hide your ears if you're watching. So this song was pretty much written about a time I was at a music festival and I had done LSD and mushrooms at the same time, and it was just not a good idea. So it was it was a very like colorful, vibrant. It's called Shambhala. It's like an EDM festival out here in BC. There's like 5 stages. It's like 5 different worlds you walk into, and it's very colorful and bright. But it can also be very intense under the right circumstances, which it was. So that whole song is pretty much more or less just about that experience and coming out of it. And yeah, it was an interesting song to write for sure. But as psychotic as it was in the moment, that festival was also the beginning of what this band would become. So
Wait, what year was that?
That was 2018.
Okay, because we've talked about this before. I was trying to remember. That was the year after I went.
Yeah, I was also at that year too, though. I went 4 years in a row before I took a little break.
So here is the video, Fear and Loathing in Outer Space. Welcome back, guys. I appreciate you being on the show. This is the part where I want to just plug all of your social media, let everyone know that they can find you on all streaming platforms, all social media, Facebook, Instagram. You have a YouTube channel. And I really just wanted to open this segment up to you guys and say, what would you like to say to your fans?
What are you thinking? No.
What are you thinking? Yeah. What are you thinking? Honestly, are you guys dumb?
Okay?
No, like, thank you. Like, seriously, we really appreciate it.
Thanks for chatting with us and blowing us up and, you know, being homies to the boys here, putting up with our shit. Bunch of cool stuff on the way, we think.
I'm simple.
Very
Thank y'all. We love y'all.
Thank y'all,
we
love y'all.
you guys, for real. We love all of you.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on the show. This was our 6th episode. We hope to just continue. Next week, we'll be back with a new band. Please like and subscribe. Check out Mediaslave. And we thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you
And
guys.
see you guys next week.
Thanks for having me.
Having a-